I think he's got his band of supporters just around here as well. Anyway, we've got doubles action coming up for you, an all-Australian affair. The Woodies, Mark Woodford and Todd Woodbridge, against Patrick Rafter and Mark Philippoussis, who you will see in the singles final tomorrow. But we're going to look back to the first semi-final. It was Mark Philippoussis against Jonas Bjorkman of Sweden, who you remember put out Pete Sampras yesterday. We can join it in the final set. Bjorkman is serving two balls.
Picture Todd Woodbridge closest to the camera, Mark Woodford, who are the best doubles team in the world and have established themselves as one of the finest doubles teams, I suppose, ever, in the sense that they've won 8 Grand Slams, a wealth of titles, and 4 Wimbledons in a row, and an Olympic gold medal too. So they are an established fine team and play the doubles, and their opponents, Rafter and Philippoussis, nearest to the camera, and Patrick Rafter in the forehand court, are the singles players. So you've got the entire Australian Davis Cup team here.
Not a bad little lineup, is it? I must say I'm intrigued. They're going to be playing against the United States in the semi-finals in Washington, D.C. in September. And it's going to be quite a match. The Australians always seem to be able to produce their best in the Davis Cup. But although Philippoussis and Rafter are best known as singles players, they are a regular partnership. Indeed, they're currently ranked 19th in the team standings, so they're a very useful combination. It's not a question of them coming together as did Henman and Sampras as a scratch pairing.
Now, I was just thinking about this match in view of the fact that Davis Cup is such an important competition, particularly for the Australians, who have a very strong history in that event, whether it would be inappropriate, in fact, for Philippoussis and Rafter to win this match. I don't think so. I'm just being jesting here, because I'm sure they're all fiercely competitive for this encounter.
Yes, it's not like Formula One. There's no team orders out there for the second driver.
I noticed that Tony Roach is not watching, so maybe he feels it's better for him to be in the locker room.
Yes, no favourites, of course, for the Australian Davis Cup coach. They all have their individual coaches with them. The Woodies are with Ray Ruffles, Mark Philippoussis, of course, with Gavin Hopper, who we were watching earlier. There's Gavin. And Patrick Rafter this year has got together with another great doubles player of recent Australian past, John Fitzgerald, who of course won every Grand Slam title with the Swede Anders Järryd. There's Ray Ruffles. He's been with the Woodies a long time, and a very fine left-hander. You must have played him a few times over the years, Mark.
Yes, we've had a healthy rivalry, and darn nuisance playing left-handers, that's all I can say, and this is, I think, partly why Mark Woodford and Todd Woodbridge actually are a good team. You've got a left-hander and a right-hander combining together. They can be aggressive on the return with the forearm, which is generally the more aggressive of the shot, on both for both sides of the court.
Pat Rafter, who surprised everybody, and I think himself, by reaching the semi-finals of the French Open as a serve and volleyer. He went in on everything and very nearly pulled it off. He had real chances against Bruguera in the semi-finals. But as you were mentioning, the left-right combination have been so successful over the Newcombe and Roach, of course, a great Australian left-right combination. Used to be said John McEnroe and anyone was a good doubles team, which I thought was a little unfair to Peter Fleming, who was a very fine player in his own right. And Mark, talking of John McEnroe, Mark Woodford actually won the US Open with
Thank you.
John McEnroe and Woodford.
Mark Philippoussis to serve.
So it's Philippoussis to serve this first of the semi-finals.
$15. $15 all. 30-15.
Out.
40-15.
Mark Woodford, the oldest man on the court, 31. Lovely exploitation of angles.
40-30. Game philippoussis, rafter. First game.
Philippoussis showing that he's not taking any pace off serve. Now, I don't know where Patrick Rafter has gone. Maybe they're not speaking. He's going. It's another shirt. Brought the wrong one up.
Well, these two had a good, philippoussis and Rafter had a good chat at the beginning of the match here to decide who was going to serve first. There is quite a strong breeze left to right as we look down the court. So obviously the fact that Mark Philippoussis had played earlier in the day, it was just that little bit warmer and adjusted, having a bit of fun there, the two of them. Actually putting a t-shirt underneath his conventional shirt. The temperature has dropped a little bit.
Yes, Mount Isa in Queensland he comes from, which is right out in the bush, and there it gets unbelievably hot, so this is distinctly chilly. Maybe he wants another one by the looks of that gesture.
They're certainly enjoying themselves at the moment, that's for sure. So this has all the signs of being a good-natured match. So it's Todd Woodbridge now to serve.
Todd Woodbridge to serve. Love 15.
Well, as we saw in the singles matches, so often a miss-hit return is the most awkward to deal with, coming at you at most unexpected angles.
Fifteen all. $30-15.
Was a good idea early in the match to play a few volleys down the tram lines, keeps your opponent honest, prevent him to coming across to intercept.
$40-15. Game Woodbridge, Woodford. One game left.
Nice comfortable opening service game for Todd Woodbridge. He's won 48 doubles titles in his career, one fewer than his partner.
Pause.
Love.
Well, there's another Australian left-hander, Owen Davidson. Had a great match with Manolo Santana, didn't he, in the semi-finals? Lost in 5 sets.
15 all.
Wimbledon semi-finals. The year Santana won, and then sadly the following year became the first champion to lose in the first round. Lost to Charlie Passerelle.
Thirty 15. Forty 15.
Pause.
Forty 30. Let first service. Game philippoussis, rafter. Philippoussis rafter lead 2-1.
We're on serve, 2-1. Mark, you were saying that these now are right up there as the all-time great doubles pairs. One thinks of Hewitt and Macmillan, Newcombe and Roach, and so on. What's the essential chemistry in a successful doubles team?
Well, the fact that they combine well together, and these two, of course, have that instinct, if you like, that knowledge of where the partner's going to be and what shot they're going to play in whatever situation, so that they're in control. But both of them, these two, I think, complement each other extremely well. You've got the slightly more fiery man on the right there, Todd Woodbridge, and the more reserved Mark Woodford on our left, and the fact that their two personalities gel beautifully, and I think one calms the other down and the other charges the other up, so they work extremely well together temperamentally, but of course also their game style complement each other. You've got a good left-hander here serving, and they are very quick to make the interceptions at the net. They combine well.
Love 15. Fifteen all.